and welcome to another product review. So today we have the Intermountain ACF 4650 3-bay hopper. I have mine in the ADMX scheme, so let's get this out of the box real quick. For packaging, it's pretty much just the standard packaging that we have nowadays with most manufacturers. So you have two pieces of plastic that snap apart from each other. I'm going to try to be careful when doing this. Then the car is placed in extra protective packaging plastic to keep the paint from getting scratched. So I got this car at Train Fest from one of the vendors, which is Engine House Services. See there? Paid for it. So I paid, I think, a total of $28.09, which is a pretty good price for this car, as it's a pretty decent car. I would say probably worth around maybe $35 normally. I'm not exactly sure. Actually, on the box it says $37, so I assume that's the retail price, the MSRP. So we'll get started with some details. So at the right next to the coupler, you have there's an air line right there. It's painted gray with the rest of the car. I'm not sure if it's realistic or not. I'll look at pictures in a little bit. The ladders on there, the grab irons on the sides right here are molded onto the ladders. The brake wheel looks really nice on there. The chain is quite nice. As you can see, there's more brake detail as well as brake lines going up to the air cylinder. Underneath you have the very nice looking trucks. As you can see, they have brake detail on the bottom. And Intermountain is known for their wheels, and so these are pretty nice wheels there. They roll very freely when they're on the track. Here are the hopper bays on the bottom. You can see they're pretty well detailed. There is a brake line running on the top right here. I'm not sure if that's a separate part or not. It is. The ADM logo on there looks pretty nice. It's printed on very nice. I don't see any paint bleeding or anything. It's very crisp, lettering and things like that. All the writing that is on this car is very legible. But here's a part that I think is really nice about this car, is the etched metal walkways on the top. I know a lot of cars that have these etched metal walkways, they often will have problems and they'll bend and things like that. However, these ones are in very nice shape. They hold up very nicely. And they also look very nice. Here are the top hatches. Pretty nicely detailed. Back to the end of the car, you can see that there is not a coupler cut lever on there. However, there is the mounting plate right there for one. The underside, you see there's some more writing right there. Doesn't really pick up well on the camera, but it is legible. The couplers on this car are KD number 5s or similar. I'm not sure if Intermountain makes their own, because it doesn't say KDs anywhere on the box, but they look and operate like KDs. Some more lettering on the end. This is the A end. You can see there's the hole going into the inside of the car. So there's some of the brake detail in there. As you can see the individual air lines in there. So that pretty much wraps up the detail on the car. Overall, I think that it's a pretty nice looking car. It operates nicely, and I got it for a very good price. at Train Fest. So you can see there. You can see the receipt. The packaging is pretty good. It's nice and protective. It is kind of a pain to open it up though, because you have to try to be careful with the little I don't know what you call them, the little pop things, the little button things. They sometimes they can be hard to get out, and you always want to be careful not to damage the model while taking it out. But other than that, it holds it in nicely. There aren't any things to mess around with on the trucks, no holders or anything like that. So overall, I think that this is a very nice car. I definitely do recommend it. So on a scale of 1 to 10, what I would rate it, I would rate it a 9. Because of the value that you get, the amount of detail that is on this car, and the functionality of it. So it's a very... I don't have a coupler height gauge, but when I checked it with other cars that I have, it checks out pretty well. Out of the box, there weren't any problems with it, such as broken parts or bent things. Everything checked out very nicely with this car. There's actually one thing I forgot. There is etched metal crossover platforms on the end right there over the couplers. So I think that pretty much wraps up the review for this car. So once again, this is the ACF 4650 3-bay hopper from Intermountain. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more product reviews coming up shortly.